Hello class, this is Dr. Mike. I'm going to be looking at some Python web scraping here. So this is a pretty in-depth topic and it can delve into HTML. So having an HTML reference could be handy. But for now though, let's take a look at this example Jupyter notebook I have. So first off, I'm going to be using these two URLs here, the UC machine learning library repository. We'll use two of these to, in this case, forest fire data, and of course our MPG data, which we've seen before. So very important is, to start off with, we need to import a library, and it's importing urllib.request. So I'll run that. And now what we do is we're actually going to open a request to this URL. So this is the MPG data index. So the URL up here. So what we're doing is we're basically putting that into a variable called response. The variable could be whatever we want to call it. And then we're going to take the response and we're going to read the response. So response itself, since it's been activated as a urllib request, it's going to have, we can see here, response dot, and we see we have several things here. There's a lot of stuff we can go into. Get headers, get URLs, information, and so on. So urllib is the urllib response, which is part of the URL request function, has a lot of these sub functions here. So again, we want to go ahead and take that, and we just want to just do a read. Again, open, close on it, and we're going to put that into HTML. Again, this is call this foo if you like, call whatever you want. It's just a variable I'm going to put it into. I run that. Now, of course, it has ran. You can see here, it has completed running job 3. If we want to see it though, we just do a print on it. So we just print out, and we get the names here, which is the index. Which if we look here, I think it's index, which is just downloaded. Oops. And there we go. So that small text file, we actually scrape that text file using a urllib. Now again, we could load this with other methods too with pandas. Now let's actually get the main page. So that was the sub page, which actually that index was again a text file. Now let's go ahead and do this again here. In this case, we're going to actually change our urllib.request.urlopen to the main page, and we'll call it main page. And now we're going to read it. So again, main page.read. Since main page is a request URL open, it has the .read function. And if I just do main or print main, I'll get it. So there's the main page. That is the entire web page scraped. Now it's not very pretty, is it? It's not very user friendly. You could put this into a loop or some other way, and you can actually parse this for information you need to, but there's easier ways to do that. But if you want to make it a little user friendly, there's something called widgets. Let's go and collapse that. I'm going to import IPY widgets as widgets. If I run that, and now I use the widgets.html viewer, and I'm going to view the main one again. And now we get what looks like more of a web page. Again, we don't have the images. Some images do come through, but it gets a little, some broken images. And that's to be expected. We're going to have some I guess, some breakage here during this input. Again, this is really not the main focus of web scraping. If I want to see the page, I just go to the page in my browser. So let's collapse that. So urllib also can do some parsing. So I'm going to import urllib parse and urllib error together. And you see this time we're doing an import statement with two items on one line. So it could be separated or it could be on one line. Again, so I'm going to create something called data page. This is that MPG data, which is off of here. Now if I download that, or if I click on it, it'll actually download a file. We've seen this before in class. Let's open that. Just text edit. We get the data itself. We saw this with the pandas. We can import stuff directly into pandas. But we can actually also use urllib to grab this. So again, I'm putting the URL itself. I just copied it from the web page into the URL open. And then for each line, I can actually just parse it for a for loop. And again, we saw before, if you get something to a for loop, like a list or a string or something, you have a lot of power on tap here. We could definitely start pulling out specific things, like everything has a Buick in it or every Ford. So there's a lot of power at hand here. Now you notice, so we have some stuff here. We have this B here, and it's encapsulated. And also inside we have a case. We have some /t's here. So this is actually unencoded. So we can actually decode it, the output. When we do the line, we can do the print line.decode. And again, you'll notice there, line.decode. If I run that now, sorry about that. We have it here. So it actually has broken it out. A little cleaner and easier to read. You can see that /t was for this, for the quotes. So, and again, we can also get some more parsing we like. So with the decode now, we could split and we can get all just the cars. So my example here, we're stuffing the decoded line into something called Y, and we're splitting it on spaces, so using the blank spaces, and we'll put that to X. Again, not the best variable names, but something I can come up last minute here. But car, we're going to equal X for the 8th field on. And then we're going to append it to something called car. So we're actually going to create a lister called cars. We're going to parse the cars into that. So here we empty list.cars. We're going to append that with what comes out of here. So let's just run it. And now let's look at cars. And then you can see I've got from the 8th. So again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From the 8th on, that's what the 8 colon is, to the end. Now I could, of course, further split this out. Now I can actually go ahead and say grab just the first or the 0 field and get the actual car. So we have the model, make model, and it's like submodel there, like Monte Carlo. That's actually one word. So yeah, you have to do a little bit of parse work here, but you can at least pull out the Chevy part. So again, we have a way to actually do this. So we did this within urllib, and we see before we can actually do stuff within pandas, for example, but this allows us to grab this with a different method. So urllib's great, but let's look at probably the one thing that's used the most is BeautifulSoup. BeautifulSoup has web page for it here, extract links, so it's Python. You can definitely Google for it. A lot of examples for BeautifulSoup examples. Very powerful. This actually interrogates the actual HTML. So we're going to do a few things here. We're going to import requests, which I think we may have done before, but we're going to go and act like we haven't done it yet. We're going to import BS4 and RE, these different libraries. RE is regular expressions for regexing. And then we're going to import BS4, and then from that we're going to import BeautifulSoup as soup. This might be a duplicate line here, so we might not need that one, but We'll run all those as is. And also we do need urllib. We're going to call that u request. We're going to get url open from this. So we actually have to go and still leverage urllib. And as before here, we're going to go ahead and create a main page. In this case, we're going to take the forest fires main page here. I want to go and extract any web links from this page. So as before here, we're going to go ahead and put urllib request url open for the URL into main page. And this time we're actually going to go in and do a soup on it. So this is right here, soup, and we're taking main page to main page. And we could do some more Pythonic work here, but for now I keep it broken out by steps. And we're going to put this into a variable called sp. So if I run that, I get a warning, and that's fine. Now I can do something called soup. Soup has something called prettify, which will give me sort of a pretty nice breakout of the URL. So what it has done is basically went through and has taken, like here, view page source. We have the page source. Now, we're going to use some of the context of this page to pull out specific items. This is where an HTML reference could be handy. For now, though, I want everything that has a link, like citation policy, contact, and so on. So knowing that in this page, we have the ahref anchor there that starts the line for the link I want. Collapse that warning. So here we're going to do is we're going to do a for loop. Now what we have is soup, in this case sp, right? This is our soup variable, sp, and in there we have basically this has been scraped. We saw it here. We want to loop through it and use the .find all. And in there we want to look for an attribute, the a attribute. Let's go back to our thing here. So right there. We want to look for everything that starts with an A. And the attributes inside there, these adders, these are the keywords. In this case, everything has href. But there's more things that have A in front of them than just href. There could be other attributes. So we want everything that starts with an A and has href. Now what we do with is re.compile. Re is a regex. Regular expressions is a sort of a Linux Unix way to do really in-depth parsing, and it can get a little complicated. Writing regex off the top of your head, a lot of times you need a reference for it, an online reference, a cheat sheet, things like that. But I'll give you a quick example here. What we're doing is we're saying compile this regex expression with this. So the idea is we want everything that starts with href equals http //. So to do that, that up caret there, which is a shift 6 on your keyboard there, that tells us that's the regex for starts with. So if anywhere in the line has http : //, if it's in the middle of a line, it won't grab it, only if it starts with it. So we're saying compile that. And then print, and we're going to call that link. Again, we call that foo, call it bar, we're going to call it link. So let's run that. So again, it's a for loop, but we're using for link in a find all with this special attribute. It starts with A, and it basically has href. And now we see we've grabbed just those URLs. Now, again, it's not very pretty, right? This is still a valid response. You can see everything that starts with an A. Again, Soup knows this data. This is part of HTML. It's looking for the A tag there. It's looking for href. And then where href equals, and this is our regex expression, that starts with http :// Now we can actually put that into a link.get. So what it does is it's going to give us a little, actually give us the links itself. So we actually get an actual link here. So again, link.get versus just link. And we do .get, we say get the href. So there's ways you can go and use this to actually get a list of the actual links. It actually grabs the actual link. So link.get, what it did was it grabbed the actual link here. Whereas this grabbed the actual HTML line from the raw, from basically the source. Either one will work. Either one is a valid way to parse a page. It just depends on your end goal. So that is a quick look at urllib and BeautifulSoup and web scraping with Python.